recently. I've been taking a meditation course, and one of the things they talk about in this meditation course that I've found very helpful is dealing with the emotions that arise when you're doing yoga and meditating. Yoga can bring up some old emotions that are kind of out of place. They feel out of place because they're from a long time ago. And when your brain doesn't really want to process everything that's happening in a moment, then sometimes you sort of store that information in your body and it comes up later when you're doing yoga. So, one of the ways that they suggest is to look at the opposite. So, you're looking at this one emotion that you have and try to find something that you experience that has the opposite emotion. So, I've been really practicing doing that, and maybe that'll help you guys as well. All right, let's go to our mats, and we'll start today on our backs. Just coming into whatever is the most comfortable laying down position you can find today. If you have props, you can always stick a rolled up towel or a bolster pillow under your knees if that feels good. Or just lay flat on your mat without any props is great too. Let yourself sink into your mat a little bit. Feel the ground underneath you, a full plane of support, supporting your entire body weight. It's never going anywhere. The ground will always be there for you. And then start to notice your breath. Not changing anything at first, just noticing what sensations you're feeling that are associated with your breath today. Maybe you feel your chest rising and falling with each breath, your back pushing against the ground as you inhale. Maybe you have allergies like me and your nose is a little stuffed up. But if not, maybe you're breathing in and out of your nose and you can feel the breath on the inside of your nose and throat. And then gently start to stretch your breath out. Each inhale, each exhale, just a little longer than the last one. See if you can get all the way up to a count of 8. If you were to imagine that your breath had a cadence to it. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or maybe it's longer or shorter. Just try to find the longest, deepest breath you can while still keeping it nice and smooth and natural feeling. Imagine as you breathe in that your breath is filling up your mind, filling up your body, pushing out any thoughts of the outside world and bringing all of your focus fully present into this moment, here and now, inside of your body. And then start to move your awareness through your body, moving down through the neck and the shoulders, down through the arms to the tips of the fingers, and down the spine, into the hips, and through the legs, knees, ankles, and toes. And as you go through each body part, make any mental notes of anything that feels different today, any areas that you want to be extra careful of, maybe things you want to work on. Maybe there's areas you want to stretch out that might feel tight. Just see what it is that calls your attention inside of your body at this time. And once you made any of those mental notes, come back to your breath, taking a couple more big, full, deep breaths here, just being inside of your body. Blinking your eyes open. Lift your knees up, drawing the knees into the chest, wrapping your arms around your legs. Take a big breath in here. On the exhale, lift your forehead up and curl tight into a ball. Squeeze everything tight together. Inhale, stretch it out. Stretch the legs out long. Lift your arms up overhead. Stretch as long as you can. And on the breath out, coming back into a ball, drawing the knees to the chest, wrapping the arms around the legs, lifting your forehead up to your knees. Release your head back down. Oh, I see I have a message here. Oh, okay. No laying down. Okay, let's come to a seat then. No. Okay. Just find a nice, comfortable seat. If a cross-legged position isn't comfortable for you, you can also have your legs kind of out. Anywhere they feel good here is fine. And then let's make our way into a forward fold. Dropping the fingers down to the mat. Take a big breath in. On your exhale, start to fold forward, stretching your fingers out, keeping the spine really long. And then once you find your edge, you can round out your back. Relax your forehead towards the ground and maybe let the elbows come down, resting on the mat. On your next inhale, come back up to a seat, releasing the hands down to a comfortable place in the lap. Let's do some neck warm-ups here. We can start by just nodding the head back and forth, dropping the chin down to the chest. And then on your inhale, let your head gently go back. Exhale, dropping the chin down to the chest. Inhale, only as far back as it feels comfortable here. Exhale, dropping the chin to the chest. And maybe if you like, you can start to also include the spine here. Inhale, relaxing the head back and maybe even arching the spine. Exhale, relaxing the head down, letting the chin come towards the chest and maybe pushing the spine out behind you. Inhale, moving your spine in the opposite way, letting your head fall back down. Go a couple more times if you like, including the spine a little bit. And then we can start to experiment with some other neck movements. There's the side to side movement. Uh-oh. Oh, it says that I've been signed out because my account is signed in from another device. Can you guys still hear me? It's so weird. Okay. I don't know if my computer is, you can still hear me. Okay, well, it's just acting weird, but I'm gonna ignore it for now, as long as I can see your names in the attendees list. All right, we're just rocking our head side to side, dropping the ear down to the shoulder. And of course, you can also do your half moons from one ear, dropping the chin down to the chest and coming up towards the other ear. And then you can also do them along the back. It's interesting. I have all these crinkly sounds in my neck, but they only happen when I'm going one way and not the other. I wonder what that means. And then, if you like, you can come all the way around doing some big circles here. Make sure you go in both directions with the circles. And once your neck feels nice and warmed up, nice and loose, come back up to a neutral spine. Let's make our way into a twist. Twisting around to one side. One hand comes behind us, anywhere it feels comfortable. I like to just tap my fingers on the ground. Other hand can be in front. Or if it feels good, you want to go a little deeper, you can cross it over your opposite knee. Take a big breath in and see how tall you can sit up. On your exhale, going deep into the twist, maybe bending the elbows and then peeking over the back shoulder. Inhale, sitting up tall, you can straighten out your elbows. Exhale, going back deep into the twist. Release. And try the other side. Twisting around the other way. Other hand comes behind us. This hand just in front or crossing over the opposite knee. Big breath in to sit up tall. On the exhale, going deep into the twist. Inhale, coming out just a little bit. And then exhale, going back deep into the twist, bending the elbows and peeking over the back shoulder. Release. Coming back to center. We're going to do a little foot love here. Give our feet some attention. We can pick up whichever foot is in front here. I like to rest my leg in the crook of my elbow there and let the heel rest on the palm of my hand. And then if you like, you can interlace your fingers in between the toes. Or maybe you just want to grab onto all of them all at once. Either way is fine. And then you can start to get some movement going here, maybe doing some circles, getting some movement in the ankles, around the toes, and then find circles going the other way. You can also go back and forth, kind of pointing and flexing with the help of the hand. Just get that ankle nice and loose. And once it feels all good and warmed up, release that foot down. Switching sides, lifting up the other leg. You can rest the leg in the crook of your elbow and the heel in the palm of your hand. If you like, interlacing the fingers in between the toes, or maybe grabbing onto all the toes at once. And then let's get some movement going here, doing some circles. Bigger, smaller, faster, slower, whatever feels right in your foot right now. And then find circles going the other way. And you can also point and flex. Just get that ankle nice and warm. And release. Drop this foot down now so it comes in front of your other leg. Crossing our legs the awkward way here. Let's come into a forward fold again. Hands come down in front of you. Take a big breath in, sitting up really tall. On the exhale, walk the fingers out. Keep the spine really long going down. Don't worry about how far you get down. Just find your own edge, wherever that is, and then relax into the fold. Let your head and neck relax down, and maybe the elbows even come down to the mat. On your next inhale, walk your hands back, pushing yourself back up to a seat. And this time we're going to really get into the spinal warm up, cupping our hands outside of our knees, going with the breath. As you breathe in, roll the shoulders down, arch the back, and you can lean your head back as much as feels comfortable and peek up to the sky. On your exhale, start to push your spine out behind you, starting from the very base of the spine. See if you can feel your individual vertebrae one at a time pushing out behind you, and then relax your head and neck down. Inhale to roll the shoulders down, arch the back, peek up at the sky. Exhale to push the spine out behind you. Relax the head and neck down. Keep going. You can go as fast or slow as your breath is going. Whatever speed that is. Maybe even seeing if you can stretch the breath out as you move in and out. So, here, as we open up our lungs, we're taking a breath in, and then as you curl up, pushing out the breath from the lungs, almost like our breath is helping us move. Coming back to a neutral spine. Let's try a little side stretch here. So today we're going to bring both hands up overhead on a breath in. And then bring your hands together, interlace your fingers, and then turn your palms facing up towards the sky. Take another breath in here. As you breathe out, gently leaning down towards one side, only as far as it feels comfortable. Back up on the breath in and down towards the other side. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, release. Let your hands come back down to your lap. Sometimes they can get a little tingly. Holding them up for a long time, you can give them a little shake, a little rest. And another time, inhale, hands come up. Interlace the fingers, turn the palms up. Exhale, stretching down towards one side. Back up to breathe in and down towards the other side as you breathe out. Inhale, coming up to center. Exhale, release. Give your arms a little wiggle, shake it out. I'm going to show you guys a little wrist stretch here. So for this one, we're going to have one hand come out straight in front of us, palm facing up, and then let your fingers drop down so your palm is facing out away from you. With your other hand, you're going to wrap your fingers and start to pull those fingers towards you. Try to keep this arm perpendicular to the ground so you can pull as much as it feels comfortable. You don't need to pull a whole lot here. And you can even move side to side with that hand, putting different pressure on different parts of the wrist. Release. Turn your hand around so the back of the hand is facing away from you now. And again, we're going to pull towards us. Just pull. You can move around a little bit there. Release. One more. Fingers pointing up, palm facing out. And pull the fingers back with your other hand. Release. Let your hands come back down to your lap to rest just for a minute. And let's try the other side. Other arm comes out, palm facing out, fingers pointing down. Pull the fingers towards you. You can move your hand side to side, getting into the wrist a little bit. Try to keep that arm parallel to the ground. Release, turning the hand around, back of the hand facing out. Pull the hand towards you. And last one, fingers pointing up, palm facing out. Pull the fingers back. And then release, drop the hands down to the lap. Close your eyes for a minute here. You can rest your hands anywhere they feel comfortable on your lap. Just take a moment to check in with your breath. Notice how your arms feel, how your feet feel. There's nothing specific that we're looking for here. We're just noticing the sensations that we're feeling in our hands, our feet, our arms, and our legs. And coming back to a strong, full breath. And blink your eyes open. Let's make our way to hands and knees tabletop, rolling over the knees or swinging the legs around to the one side, lining up the knees right underneath the hips. Wrists come right underneath the shoulders. And then testing out our balance here, lifting one leg up, pushing through the sole of the foot, bringing that leg parallel to the ground. And then if it feels okay, maybe the opposite arm coming up as well. If not, keep that hand on the ground. Just work on the leg today. Big breath in to stretch it out long. And as you breathe out, release, hand and knee come back down to the mat. Other side, inhale, lift the leg up, push through the heel, bring in that leg parallel to the ground. And maybe the opposite arm comes up as well. Big breath in to stretch out long. Exhale to release. Let's try two more on either side. Go with the breath. Inhale, lift and stretch. Exhale, release. With control, find the spots back on the mat. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhale, carefully coming back to the spot on the mat. One more time. Go with your breath. Both sides. And exhale, come back down to the mat. Bring some space between the knees. Big toes to touch. Push the hips back to the heels. Relax the forehead to the ground. Coming into child's pose. Close your eyes. Feel your breath. Notice the different sensations that come with the breath when you're in child's pose as opposed to laying on your back or in a seat. Maybe you notice your breath more in your shoulders or your back here. On your next inhale, lifting back up to tabletop, bringing the knees together to touch. This time we're going to do some crunches. Inhale, lifting up one leg and maybe the opposite arm. Exhale, coming into a crunch, elbow to knee or just knee to nose if your hand is still on the ground. Inhale, stretch it out long. Exhale, coming into the crunch. One more time. Big breath in to stretch it out. Exhale, elbow comes to the knee or knee to nose. Inhale, stretch out your arm and leg. And then release. Drop the hand and knee back down to the mat and switch sides. Other leg comes up. Maybe the arm comes to join it. Big breath in. Exhale into the crunch. Two more going with your breath. With control. Inhale to stretch out your hand and leg. Exhale, release back to the mat. And let's make our way all the way up to standing, however you want to get there. Take a moment, adjust your clothes, wiggle your legs out for a minute. And let's make our way to mountain pose here. So for mountain pose, we can have our big toes touching, some space between the heels, or bring the feet on two different train tracks. Whichever one feels more comfortable to you. Palms by our sides, active, pushing the shoulders down, lifting up on the spine, standing up as tall as we can. And then bringing awareness to the feet. You can lift your toes up and spread them out, rock back and forth, really grounding yourself here. Really feeling the ground underneath you, all the points of contact your feet make with the earth. And then feel how smart our feet are. They know exactly what to do to keep us from falling over here. Find some stillness in the feet. Lift up on the spine. Close your eyes. Just take a big, full, deep breath in and out. Blink your eyes open. On the next inhale, sweeping the hands up overhead. Look up, bring the hands together. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees, hinge forward from the hips, relaxing the upper body down. Inhale, rising back up to standing, bending the knees, unrolling the spine, letting the arms and head dangle down. Head comes up last. Exhale into mountain pose. One more time, breathing in to lift the hands up. Exhale, folding forward, taking your whole breath out to come down. And inhale back up to standing, unrolling the spine. Exhale, mountain pose. Warrior two. Bring the hands to the hips to set up for the feet. One foot is pointing straight towards the short end of the mat. And then this back foot, you can step it back as far as it feels comfortable. You might have a wider stance or a more narrow one. Check on the hips and the spine. We want our spine to be lined up right over the hips, not leaning forward over the leg. Make sure that front knee has a nice deep bend in it, and then lifting the arms up, peek on the back hand. Sometimes it likes to droop down when you're not looking at it, so you gotta make sure it's nice and high. And then bring the gaze over to the front middle finger. Moving with the breath, yoga jumping jacks. Inhale, straighten out the front knee, bring the hands up overhead. Exhale, bending the knee and lowering back down, warrior two. Keep going just like that. Moving at your own pace here. No need to stay with me or with anybody else. Just listen to your breath. Stretch out your breath. And then tie your movement to the pace of your breath. On your next exhale, meeting back down in warrior two. Inhale, coming to reverse warrior. Legs stay the same. Arms flip up and back. Upper arm arcing overhead like a rainbow. Back hand stretching down the back leg. Or if it feels good, you can also wrap it back behind you and reach your fingers around towards the front hip. One more breath in here. On the exhale, coming to extended side angle, keep your legs the same. Front elbow is going to drop down to that front knee, and then stretch that upper arm overhead. Try to make a nice straight line, stretching from the top middle finger all the way through the back heel. So the body is pretty curvy, so you might not be perfectly straight, just as straight as you can imagine it feeling. Two more times with the breath. Inhale, rising up to reverse warrior. Exhale, back down, extended side angle. One more time, just going at your own pace, listening to the breath. Inhale, rising back up to warrior two. And then release, drop the hands to the hips, straighten out the front knee, turn those toes toward the long edge of the mat and switch sides. Other toes come pointing towards the short end of the mat. If you want, you can make this side have a shorter stance or a longer one. Even though we might not notice that our legs can sometimes be very slightly different lengths or have different strengths in them. And it might feel good to have a little bit of a different shape stance on this side. That's always okay. Front knee is bent. Lining up the spine right over the hips. Lifting the arms up. Making sure the back hand is nice and high. And bringing the gaze to the front middle finger. Moving with the breath at your own pace. Inhale, straighten out the front knee, bring the hands up overhead. Exhale, bending the knee and lowering back down to warrior two. Keep going. Finding your own rhythm here. Just listening to your breath. Next, exhale, meeting back in warrior two. And as you breathe in, come right into reverse warrior, keeping the legs the same. Front arm arcing overhead like a rainbow. Back hand resting on the back leg or wrapping back behind, reaching towards the front hip. One more big breath in here. On the exhale, windmill the arms around. Keep the legs the same. Front elbow is going to bend and drop down to the front knee. And then stretch that upper arm overhead. Keep the shoulder pushed down. Push down. We don't want to stretch that shoulder up into our ears because that might start hurting the shoulder eventually. Let's do those two poses two more times with the breath. Inhale to rise up to reverse warrior. Exhale, coming back down, extended side angle. Last one, inhale, coming up. And as you breathe out, back down, extended side angle. Inhale to rise up to warrior two. And release, drop the hands to the hips. Bring your legs back together. Shake it out a little bit. And let's take a break. We're going to take a little seated break here. Any comfortable seated position is fine. My legs like to be in easy pose, but if you'd rather have your knees up or legs out to the side, anywhere they feel good. And if you're in easy pose, you can always choose to take a little break with your legs crossed the awkward way just to get used to it so that maybe you become a little bit more ambidextrous than before. And let's close our eyes, resting our hands comfortably anywhere in the lap. Bring awareness to your breath. And see if you can notice any changes there. Maybe from at the very beginning of our flow, our very first breathing exercise. Or maybe you're just noticing a gradual increase in the rate of breath throughout the class. And then as we take these breaks, bringing the breath back down, slowing it down, calming the body down again. Bring awareness to your skin. Notice what sensations you might feel there. Maybe there's breeze in the air. Maybe you feel a temperature on your skin, coolness or some warmth. Or maybe you feel nothing particular. And then start to slow your breath down. See if you can intentionally come back to a deep, full breath. Listen to your breath, noticing which parts of the body are moving as you breathe in and out. And once you feel ready, you can blink your eyes open. Let's make our way back up to standing, however you'd like to get there, for some balancing poses. Starting with tree pose, bringing all weight to one side. The other leg is going to turn to have the knee pointing straight out to the side. I always like to have my hands on my hips to set up my legs. We're going to start with the toes on the ground, sole of the foot on the ankle. And if that feels pretty good, you can try one of our other two options. Maybe heel comes up underneath the knee. Or maybe you're feeling pretty flexible today, coming all the way up on the thigh. And then once you feel steady on the feet, if you like, you can start to include the arms. Inhale to lift the arms up overhead. Arms can actually be anywhere. They can be right overhead, they can be out to the side. And if you don't want to include your arms, you can keep them together at heart center or maybe on the hips. One last big breath in here. And exhale to release. Shake it all out. Other side. All weight coming to the other leg. This knee pointing straight out to the side. All those three options are available to us on this side as well. But maybe you want to take a different one on this side. That's always okay. Finding your leg balance to start. And then including the arms. Take a couple big deep breaths here. One last big breath in and release, shaking it all out. All right, let's try ragdoll pose. Really nice spinal release here. So all day long we have gravity pulling our spine down from our head to our feet, pulling on all those connectors in the spine, the discs, everything that's in there. And so when we fold forward, grab our elbows with our hands, gravity's pulling the spine open the other way, giving us a little bit of a release there. For ragdoll pose, we have our feet about hip width distance apart. Inhale, bringing the hands up. And exhale, folding forward. You can bend your knees if you like. Relax the upper body down. And then reach your hands out. Grab for opposite elbows. Let your head and neck dangle down. And if you want to find some movement here, you can bend one knee, push the other knee back towards straight, and then switch off. Gives you a little swaying motion. You can almost imagine you feel the kinks falling out of your spine. Before you release, peek down at your arms and notice how the arms are crossed. We're going to cross them the other way the next time we come in. And then release the fingers down to the ground. You can bring your weight to your fingers to heel toe the feet back together again. Bend the knees and rise up to standing with your arms dangling down. Exhale, mountain pose. Taking another little break here. Let's bring some space between our feet. Just rest your hands on your upper legs and close your eyes. It's nice to practice taking a little breath break in all these different positions, standing, seated position, laying down. Focusing on the breath is a really great grounding technique that can be used anywhere, at any time. And you're more likely to call on this ability if you practice it regularly. So, coming into the poses and practicing taking these breaks is a really useful skill that you can transfer to the rest of your life. Oh, that was a sneeze that did not come out. Whew. Okay, let's blink our eyes open and come into chair pose. Chair pose can have our big toes touching space between the heels or on two different train tracks. Breathing in to lift the hands up. Exhale, sitting back into the chair, bending the knees, bending the hips, bringing the torso forward, bringing the weight into the heels, maybe even lifting the toes up a little, and then lifting up on the spine, pushing the shoulders down. Nice and strong in the legs. This is one of those poses that can sometimes release that pent up cortisol that we get in our muscles when we go through some significant events. Take a big breath in and exhale, release, pushing the knees back, relaxing the upper body down. Bring weight to the fingers, heel toe the feet out wide. And grab for opposite elbows, crossing your arms the awkward way. Rock side to side. See if you notice any differences in how this pose feels in your upper body, your legs, with your arms crossed the awkward way. Maybe there's no change, that's okay too. And release, drop the fingers down, weight comes to the fingers, heel toe the feet back together. Bend the knees and rise to standing on a breath in. Exhale, mountain pose. Another seated break. However you want to get there, make your way to a seat, close your eyes. And this time, I would like to invite you, if you choose, you can bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, and really feel the breath underneath your fingers, the palms of your hands. Bringing your awareness to your hands and your palms and noticing how the body moves as you breathe in and out. And now see if you can move your awareness to your core, underneath your palms, underneath your fingertips. And feel the sensation of your hands resting on your body. Feel the sensation of your body pushing your hands in and out. See if you can feel that from the skin right underneath your fingertips, on your chest, on your belly. And release. Let your hands come back down to your lap. Blink your eyes open. Coming into boat pose. Start by pointing the knees up to the sky. Turn to the side here. We're going to clasp our hands outside of our knees or just hold on to both of the knees. And then take a big breath in. See how tall you can sit up. Lengthening the spine, maybe even leaning back a little bit to get a little extra length in the spine. If this feels good, you can stay right here. If you want to go a little deeper, releasing the hands, tucking the fingers inside the creases of the knees, maybe floating the feet. And of course, you can always release the hands out to the sides, maybe even straightening out the legs. That's really hard. Lots of core strength here. One last big breath in and release. Drop the feet down to the mat. Bring the hands behind you, fingers pointing towards the hips, and then gently rock the knees side to side, releasing the hips. And coming into staff pose. Staff pose is basically just making a right angle with the ground. So we're going to have our legs stretching out long in front of us. We can have a little bit of space there between our knees and the ground. That's totally natural. And if you push your knees down, you're going to start to lock the knees and cut off circulation. So you don't want to do that. Flexing the toes, pulling the toes toward the face. If it feels good, you can rock side to side and tuck your thumbs underneath you. And then sit up really tall, lengthening the spine. Take a couple big deep breaths here. And on your next inhale, release the hands, lifting the hands up overhead. Exhale into a forward fold. Nice and slow, relaxing the upper body down. So another variation of this forward fold is to bend the knees even more and then scoop the arms underneath the legs, grabbing onto the legs. You can relax your head down into your legs. And when you feel ready, release. Walk your hands back, lifting your chest back up, bring the hands behind you. Once again, planting the feet on the ground, rocking the knees side to side. We're going to do one more pose here. Bringing the soles of the feet together, knees open out wide to the sides. Your knees might be up a lot or really close to the ground. Either way is fine. And then pull the feet in as close as they feel comfortable. Interlace the fingers, tucking them underneath the toes. Lift up on the spine. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, going down into the fold. See how long you can keep your spine. If you like, you can shift your hands here, bringing the fingers to the outside of the toes. Push the knees down and relax the upper body down. Maybe even releasing the hands and curling the fingers forward. On an inhale, walking the hands back, lifting up the chest, bringing the knees together. We can rock our knees side to side again. And today, because we have somebody who has difficulty laying flat on their back, we're going to do our ending meditation in a seat. You can always lay down if that's what you choose to do. You can lay down flat, you can lay on your side or on your belly, or you can even grab a cushion, sit underneath a cushion if that feels good. Just find your way to whatever is the most comfortable seated position you can find. And then see if there's any adjustments you can make here to make yourself 5 or 10% more comfortable than you already are. Maybe a little Shifting of the hips, little wiggling of the spine. Maybe sitting up a little taller or a little relaxing back into your seat. Whatever it takes to get really super comfortable. Notice any sounds that you're hearing right now. Springtime. Maybe you hear some baby birds out in the garden outside a window. Maybe you hear some ambient traffic noises or some ventilation system, an air conditioner or a heater. Just attune yourself to those sounds just for a moment. And now turn your attention to the sounds inside of your body. Maybe you hear your breath. Feel the weight of your body pushing down on the surface of the mat. Feel your breath gently flowing in and out. Notice what is present in you at this time. There's no need to change your experience. We're just being with ourselves just as we are right now in this moment. Maybe you notice some thoughts coming and going. Turn your attention to the sensations of your body. And without moving it, bring all awareness to your right thumb. Notice where it is in space, if it's touching anything, how it feels. Moving to the right index finger, right middle finger, right ring finger, right pinky finger. Bring awareness to the right palm, the back of the right hand, your right wrist, moving your awareness up into your lower arm. Maybe you feel your muscles and your bones, your right elbow, the inside and the outside of the elbow, right upper arm, and right shoulder. All of your awareness is on your right hand and arm as they relax. Shifting awareness to your left ribs, your right ribs. Maybe you feel them moving with your breath. Right waist, right hip, right upper leg, the thigh, the right knee, the front and the back, right lower leg, the shin and the calf, right ankle, the top of the right foot, the bottom of the right foot, the heel, the arch, and each of your right toes. All of your awareness on your right side, leg and foot, as they relax. Shifting awareness to your left thumb. Notice where it is in space, if it's touching anything, how it feels. Left index finger, left middle finger, left ring finger, and left pinky finger. Bringing awareness to your left palm, the back of your left hand, left wrist, left lower arm. Bringing awareness to your left elbow, left upper arm, and left shoulder. All of your awareness is on your left hand and arm as they relax. Shifting awareness to your left ribs. Perhaps you feel them moving with your breath. Left waist, left hip, left upper leg, the thigh, left knee, the front and the back, left lower leg, the shin and calf, left ankle, the top of the left foot, the bottom of the left foot, the heel, the arch, and each of your left toes. All of your awareness is on your left side, leg and foot, as they relax. Bringing awareness to the back of your head, the top of your head, your scalp, bringing awareness to your forehead, eyebrows, and eyelids. Bring awareness to your nose. Maybe you feel your breath on the inside of your nose, lips, cheeks, the neck, and the throat, collarbones, and that place in your heart, in your chest where your heart sits. All of your awareness is on your head, face, and heart as they relax. Take a moment to see where you might still be holding on to tension, and allow yourself, if it feels right, to drop the tension and just be as you are, resting here, feeling the sensations of the body and the breath gently flowing in and out. We're just going to have a few more minutes of silent meditation here, and then we'll do a couple last poses together to complete our flow. Bring awareness back to your breath, taking some deeper inhales and exhales, bringing some movement into your fingers and toes. And if you're laying down, you can make your way back up to a seat. If you're already in a seat, just blink your eyes open. Let's just come into a couple more poses to shake our yoga fog. We'll start with a forward fold, breathing in to lift the hands up. Exhale, stretching forward, release the hands down, stretch your hands out in front of you, and relax the head and neck down. Inhale, coming back up to a seat, floating the hands up overhead. Exhale, side stretch. One hand comes down. Walk the fingers out and let the opposite arm come arcing overhead, leaning down towards that hand on the ground. Maybe bending, straightening that elbow. On your next breath in, come back up to center. And as you breathe out, coming down the other way. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, release, hands in the lap. Thank you all so much.